Good morning. The South Korean government and Korean American civic organizations are taking action over the latest by Japan regarding the Kono statement. The staple food of Korea and a point of contention in trade negotiations. Despite opposition, the market is getting ready to open to imports. Although Korea's chances for the round of 16 remain slim, the fever must continue, and Joey Mercadante helps make it memorable. And suits don't always have to be stuffy nor completely formal for that matter. A new take on the age-old business dress code on Korea Today, Thursday, June 26th, 2014.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
Thanks for joining us on Korea Today on this Thursday morning. I'm Oh Jin-ju alongside Kim Min-jung and Kim Young. Now, we all know that smoking is bad for us, but this hasn't lowered the smoking rate here in Korea.
That's right. To all the smokers out there, it is time to quit and kick that habit. Seoul's Health and Welfare Ministry has released an anti-smoking ad. Let's take a look at this thing. It's quite intense. It's meant to be a shock therapy. Take a look.
So he's saying that it's really hard quitting smoking.
And then he keeps on doing it until his brain just bursts. Wow, look at that. It was pretty powerful. Now, it's titled Before It's Too Late. It's going to start airing on major TV networks starting today. So maybe, just maybe, it's time to quit, right?
That's right. So those smokers out there, if you haven't already done so, put that butt out as soon as you can.
That's right.
Starting
you
today,
can do it.
hopefully. All right. And now we move to our top story for this morning. While Japan has been channeling its diplomatic network in Washington justifying the Shinzo Abe government's recent review of the Kono statement, the South Korean government, along with Korean American organizations, are going all out, refuting the claims of Tokyo's review. South Korean Vice Foreign Minister Jo Tae-yong has voiced this matter in a meeting with counterpart William Burns, stating that organizations such as the Korean American Civic Empowerment and the Council of Korean Americans are moving forward with their efforts with the U.S. House of Representatives, among other channels. Foreign Minister Yoon Byung-se said problems arising from the review must be dealt with head-on and that the essence of the issue will not change no matter how skillfully Tokyo reforms the Kono statement. In an announcement late last week, the Abe government claimed there was no clear evidence that Japan forced Korean and other Asian women to serve as sex slaves for its troops during and before World War II.
It was an emotional scene at Tanwon High School in Ansan, south of Seoul, on Wednesday when 73 of its students who have survived the sinking of the Seoul-ho ferry returned to school 71 days after the tragic accident. After reading a short statement asking for privacy and a sense of normalcy, the returning juniors bowed to their parents and the families of the victims who had come to the school in support of the surviving students. The 18-year-olds went into their classrooms and paid tribute to their friends who have lost their lives on what was supposed to be a school excursion. The survivors had been receiving counseling and psychological treatment for more than 2 months prior to returning to the school. The children were among the 172 people rescued from the sunken ferry back in April.
And a measurement of what each country on Earth contributes to the common good of humanity and what it takes away. The Good Country Index, and South Korea ranks at number 47 when it comes to what a country does for others globally. A survey created by policy advisor Simon Anholt, the index uses a wide range of data compiled from the United Nations, the World Bank, and other international organizations, broken down into 7 areas such as technology, health, and culture. The survey showed Ireland in first place, followed by Finland and Switzerland, while the top Asian countries were Japan in 25th and Singapore in 27th.
Rice imports have always been one of the major sticking points for Korea's trade negotiators, facing strong opposition by local farmers. This is because rice is Korea's staple food and thus directly connected to the nation's food security, with Korea ranking among the lowest in the OECD when it comes to grain self-sufficiency rate. But the Korean government is now about to open up this rice market, and to tell us more about this, we have Arirang News' Hwang Jie joining us in the studio. So, Jie, Chia, why is it now that the government decided to open up the rice market?
Well, it's simply that Korea has been delaying opening up its rice market, and now that it's about that their time is up. Korea actually promised to open up its rice market under a 1994 agreement with the World Trade Organization. But because rice is Korea's staple food, it was allowed to put off the date for 10 years in exchange for gradually raising its rice import quota. After the 10-year period ran out in 2004, it delayed liberalizing the rice market again for another 10 years, which is set to expire at the end of this year. So now the government has two options, either opening up its rice market or to ask the WTO for another delay.
Yeah, and I understand that the government will be making an official announcement next week, but they're leaning towards opening up the market rather than delaying it. Why is that?
Well, the government thinks it's just too costly to import more rice, which is the trade-off for postponing the market liberalization of Korea's rice market, especially when rice consumption is dropping here in Korea. The Agriculture and Trade Ministry also say it's better to open up the market and impose a high level of tariffs, since a mere 5% tariff is imposed on the rice import quota. Korea's rice imports stood at a mere 51,000 tons in 1995, but the import quota gradually grew to reach over 400,000 tons this year, which equals to nearly 10% of the nation's total rice consumption. That's an 8-fold jump in 20 years. And with sluggish demand for low-quality imported rice, the Agriculture Ministry says it's spending tens of millions of dollars to basically store the rice. Experts say further raising the import quota from the current level to delay rice market liberalization not only costs too much, but will eventually hurt local farmers as well.
If Korea is required to import more rice than the current level, local farmers will suffer more through tough competition. Opening the rice market and imposing tariffs will actually diminish the total amount of rice imports.
The government says it will impose high tariffs on rice to the tune of 200 to 300% after opening the rice market to protect local farmers. That way, the government believes Korean rice will not lose its price competitiveness against Chinese or American rice that are half the price of Koreans or even cheaper. Farmers, however, are strongly protesting the market opening, saying the issue is all about food sovereignty.
If we open the market, we will lose major ground in our rice farming industry. It means we are putting our food security in danger.
Experts also emphasize that protecting the nation's rice production is critical, but that local farmers could find support through well-planned government measures.
Demand for domestically produced rice will exist, just like beef, so measures like setting up high-end marketing strategies for Korean rice will be needed to protect the local markets and farmers.
But some local farmers are taking matters into their own hands, changing the way they grow rice to keep up with consumers and their changing tastes and demands. Lee Yong-bok, a farmer in Gimpo city just outside of Seoul, is paving this trend.
I plant specialized rice, like ones that are good for people with diabetes, and these types of rice are almost double the price compared to regular rice. So my income also doubles that of ordinary farmers.
So, Chia, improving competitiveness of these local farms is a great idea, but don't we need some fundamental measures to help these farms survive in the global competition?
Of course. And especially when the majority would inevitably fall out of the competition when cheap foreign rice come into the market. And the government is currently finding ways to stabilize rural household incomes by introducing various kinds of insurance programs, and that will compensate the amount of income of farmers if it falls below a certain level. But more than that, farmers like Yi, who we have just seen, say that what they really need is the infrastructure, where producers can easily reach out to consumers without going through major retailers.
So the Korean government must let the WTO know whether they will open up the market or not by the end of September, I believe. And if they do open up the market, it will take effect starting next year, right?
Yes, and that would be wrapping up a 20-year delay of Korea's rice market, opening up the Korea's rice market.
Right. All right, Sia, thank you for that report today.
Thank you for having me. Good Thursday morning. It's time to run through the front pages of your newspapers. And President Park Geun-hye and the leadership of the ruling party yesterday held a meeting at the presidential compound of Cheongwadae, where the leaders discussed key outstanding issues in the National Assembly. The ruling party's floor leader had some important words at the meeting. Let's take a look at it on Joseon-ilbo. And it's the side story here. The ruling Saenuri Party's chairman of the Emergency Committee and floor leader Lee Wan-gu yesterday announced that the ruling party will consult with the opposition party on improving the confirmation hearing system in Korea. The headline reads, "Improve confirmation hearings by discussing with the opposition." Lee said he informed the president on the institutional problems of the confirmation hearing system. He said that due to a bottleneck situation arising from public opinion, even before a confirmation hearing is held, a nominee is pressured to step down, and then everything just goes back to where it all started. Hence, he stressed the need to talk with the opposition party and maintain a cooperative relationship with them in order to modify the confirmation hearing system. And over on Dongyang Shinmun, a front page image on the students that returned to school. As you heard earlier on, these children have now returned to their normal daily school life. The headline says, "Children return, remember 0416. Now that refers to April 16th, the day the ferry sank. Yesterday morning, which was 71 days after the deadly accident, surviving juniors and their parents arrived at the Danwon High School campus in Ansan, south of Seoul, with the families of those killed or missing in the disaster, standing in lines to encourage them, as you can see here in the picture. Some of the surviving students are tearing up in the arms of their lost friends' parents. Indeed, quite an emotional scene. Meanwhile, over on Donghwa-ilbo, the top story is about the national safety measures, and it's having a critical eye on it. The article is about the lack of public safety measures and related budget enforcement. The title says, "Budget increased in the name of safety, but restructuring unsafe schools have been left out." Now, the sub-headlines here, they say that government departments have stuck a safety sticker on plans and businesses that are actually not of urgency. In fact, they haven't even asked for a budget on the disaster correspondence system. Now, the paper adds that they did do, however, is request a budget of 17 trillion won for next year's overall budget on safety, which is 1 trillion won more compared to last year. Now, in this budget proposal, the Education Ministry also left out plans to rebuild school facilities that seem to be unsafe. Now, switching gears to a different story on Joseon-ilbo. We'll take a look at this on the diplomatic relationship between Korea and China. Now, the headline says, "Korea-China seeks to upgrade bilateral relations to China-Russia level." According to the sub-headlines, it looks like Korea and China are considering upgrading their bilateral relations from the current strategic cooperative partnership to a comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership on the occasion of Chinese President Xi Jinping's trip to Seoul on July 3rd and 4th. Now, the upgrade of the 22-year ties between the neighboring countries signals enhanced cooperation in the military, security, and safety sectors. Sources note that China is the one being more proactive in wanting to raise relations to the next level. Now, for your information, China is currently in a comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership with Russia and Vietnam as well. Now, finally wrapping up with a look at a business story here on the Korea Economic Daily.
Now, this is about government restrictions having been lifted on development-restricted areas, also known as green belts. The header reads, private institutions, theaters, golf ranges, all permitted to be built in green belts. Now, as part of improving the inconveniences that residents living within greenbelt areas have faced since the government created the zone back in 1971, the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport said yesterday it would lift bans that have prevented residents from opening new businesses. The aim is to improve living conditions of the residents within the heavily regulated greenbelt by permitting a wider variety of income sources. And that was a look at your newspaper headlines for this Thursday. And coming up are the stock numbers now from Wednesday.
Now, yesterday was rain-free for a change, but today, not so much.
All right, we'll be looking at today's weather conditions, what we're expecting with Chun Sung-cho, who joins us with more on Today.
Good morning to you, Sung-cho.
Good morning, guys. Today's weather conditions are very similar to yesterday. Steamy, hot, and very sunny. And yes, steamy. There is so much humidity in the air these days with high temperatures during the day that it gets very, very uncomfortably stuffy. We do have a monsoonal front that's approaching the peninsula from the South Sea, which is usual for this time of the year. It'll affect Jeju starting in the afternoon with some precipitation of up to 20 millimeters, but leave other regions dry. This front will retreat tomorrow and come back again sometime later next week. And whether Seoul will see its first monsoonal rain this season is still a question. However, this Saturday, we're expecting another rainfall around the central regions due to a high pressure over the West Sea. So keep that in mind when planning a weekend getaway. Now let's move on over to get a closer look at today's forecast. The southern regions are cooler due to the monsoonal front that we just talked about. Jeju has the lowest midday highs of 23 degrees Celsius. On the other hand, it'll be a scorcher in Daegu, the highest at 32 degrees, and Seoul remains at 29. This is all for me with the weather forecast. Back to you, Minja.
Time now for a look through our global headlines. We'll turn things over to our Eunice Kim, who joins us from the News Center for that. Hello, Eunice.
Good morning, Minja.
Now, in Iraq, it seems like there's the military unrest and there's the political unrest. And yesterday, we talked about the Kurdish president raising the possibility of breaking away from Iraq. And today, the Iraqi leader is ruling out yet another political possibility.
That's right. Some had raised the option of forming a national emergency government in the face of the sectarian fighting in Iraq. But Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki has said that is not in the books. He is refusing to resign. In a televised address, he warned that such calls represented a coup against the constitution and an attempt to end the democratic process. Maliki called for all political forces to reconcile in the face of the, quote, terrorist onslaught, stopping short of promising greater representation for the Sunni Arab minority in the government. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, who is in Brussels for NATO talks, urged Mideast nations to hold their fire. U.S. and Iraqi senior military officials have confirmed that Syrian warplanes launched airstrikes in Iraq, likely against ISIL militants who had joined forces with al-Nusra Front yesterday, al-Qaeda's affiliate in Syria at the two countries' border. The move is significant as it opens the way for militants to further firm their grip on both sides of the border. An explosion at a busy shopping plaza in Nigeria's capital city of Abuja has killed at least 21 people and injured at least 17 others. Police were securing what they described as a crime scene, though it was yet unclear who or what was behind the massive blast. Eyewitnesses described scenes of chaos at the city's Woo's district, body parts scattered, people covered in blood, and smoke billowing in the area. Cars outside the complex were burnt out and windows shattered. The BBC reports the shopping district was packed with people at the time.
Now, on the crisis in Ukraine, now Western nations are warning they have more sanctions ahead for Russia unless Moscow does more to de-escalate tensions there.
That's right. As I alluded to earlier, NATO member nations opened formal meetings on Wednesday in Brussels, and the Ukraine crisis very much a hot topic there. Following a meeting of NATO foreign ministers, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry urged Russian President Vladimir Putin to publicly call on separatists in Ukraine to lay down their arms, adding that there would be greater costs to face otherwise. He applauded President Putin's request to cancel a law that would have allowed him to launch a military intervention in Ukraine. That happened yesterday, but cheekily added that, quote, that could be reversed in 10 minutes. Officials also said German Chancellor Angela Merkel and French President François Hollande spoke to Putin as well as Ukraine's President Petro Poroshenko on the phone for about an hour Wednesday to urge them to work together. And that's a wrap of your global headlines we're following this morning.
And coming up later, Korea's chance at staying in the World Cup may be slim, but our Red Devils are not giving up their team spirit just yet. Check them out when Joey Mercadante takes us around on Korea Discovered.
Today's mobile phones or smartphones have endless applications in our lives, and the camera feature works actually very well, and some features include slow motion videography. And Im Yoon-hee joins us today with more on smartphones and smartphone films, perhaps.
Exactly. So, excuse my pun, but smartphones are just getting so much smarter these days,
well,
right?
They're smarter than you and I.
Exactly. So actually,
or me, for example.
Right. So they actually released an iPhone short film. Do you remember that one from a few years ago?
Yeah, the iPhone. I remember it was a few years ago. That was actually the very first iPhone shot short film in the world, actually, and it was by a pair of brothers.
To be released in theaters, and it was by a pair of Korean brothers. Only reason I ask is I know you're a fan of iPhones, but actually that was in early 2011, and that was the first film to be released in theaters, and it was actually won the Golden Bear Award at the Berlin International Film Festival called Night Fishing. And shortly after that film was released, the Ole International Smartphone Film Festival was created, and since then it's become the largest smartphone film festival in the world. Now, a couple of directors were asked what they thought about smartphone films, and take a look at their response.
스마트폰 영화란? 그 스마트폰 영화라는 게 뭐 그냥 뭐 아무나 찍는 거지 뭐 이렇게 누르면 되는 거 아니야? 지금 뭐 하는 거야 지금?
Just like he said, now anyone with a smartphone can make a movie. This year marks the 4th Ole International Smartphone Film Festival, a new type of festival perfect for today's smartphone-driven world. It's a competition of short films, and the only requirement is a smartphone. The jury will be led by Roo Seung-won, director of the hit films The Berlin File and The Crying Fist. As they judge short film entries from around the world, there are 5 special awards to be won this year and 1 main award. It's a festival meant to encourage the imagination and the use of something today's society has become quite adept at using.
All right, it looks like those films that we just saw are films that you and I could shoot, but a little more better technique and experience behind it, right? So were those clips from previous entries from before?
Actually, these particular clips were created to encourage this year's entry, so they were made by already experienced directors. Now, this year you can start submitting entries starting July 4th through August 14th. And in fact, last year they saw 700 submissions, and this year they're expecting quite a few more. It's growing with every year.
All right, so every year we're getting more and more, but what are some of the categories that they can partake in?
So this year there's a short film section, which is anything under 10 minutes, and another extreme short film section, which is anything under 1 minute. So a few sections. There are plenty of awards to be won, including a youth award. They're really trying to encourage the younger generations to explore their creativity and make use of the smartphones.
Boy, they have ones for less than a minute. I think, it won't take that long to make one of those, right?
Right.
Put one of those together. All right, it sounds like it's going to be filled with a lot of different works.
Yes, and they will be screening these films at the Megabox in Gangnam once the jury chooses the winners. And so a good opportunity for everyone around the world to, show their creativity and use their smartphones.
All right, sounds great. Because some of these guys that use their smartphones, there's these little lens add-ons attachments that gives you wide angle, all by a little clicking that little extension on, and you can do a lot with the smartphones these days.
Right, so many possibilities.
All right, well, thank you very much for that.
Always a pleasure.
And stay with us on Korea Today, because we are going to give you a very cool biz look. You don't have to wear a suit and be all stuffy and too formal for those business moments. For women and for men, what are some easy fashion trends that men can pretty much incorporate into their summer wardrobe? K-Style brings you the fresh, cool styles.
Time for news sum up. Pope Francis is coming to town this summer, yay. And many Korean celebrities are coming together to make a song dedicated to the Pope.
Right, and all of them are Catholic, and the big names include actresses Kim Hye, Kim Tae, and actor An Sung-gi. And for more on this and other keywords trending online, our Miseorang joins us from the digital room. Good morning, Miseorang.
Good morning.
Good morning. The song is titled Koinonia, Greek for communion. I'll expand on this later, but before I do that, let's run through some of the other issues that are trending online. According to Forbes, Samsung Electronics is the 10th most reputable company in the world. The Tanwon High School students that survived the Seoul ferry disaster returned to school after 71 days. Many look up the physical characteristics of the Brazuca, Brazil World Cup's official match ball, and how it compares to previous World Cup balls. And Uruguay's Luis Suarez is set to receive disciplinary action from FIFA after allegedly biting the Italian player Giorgio Chiellini. Now, going back to the first listing there on Samsung, Forbes magazine listed Samsung Electronics on the 10th place of its annual list of the world's most reputable companies. This is the first time a Korean company has entered the top 10 on this prestigious list. According to a joint analysis between Forbes and the Reputation Institute, Samsung Electronics received 75 points out of 100 in reputability measures and tied with Microsoft for the 10th spot on the list, while the top place went to both Disney and Google at 77 points. The results were based on surveys of 60,000 consumers in 15 countries and is a major feat for Samsung Electronics because it was just 6 years ago that it was on the 196th spot. It quickly rose up the ladder in successive years to reach number 16 last year. Meanwhile, the greater Samsung Group is currently undergoing a widespread restructuring of its companies and reshuffling of its workers to further streamline its numerous operations. Moving on to our next issue, to commemorate the Pope's visit to Korea this coming August, some 25 stars from arts, culture and sports have united to sing a special song dedicated to the papal visits. Let's see who participated. Singer Pada, actress Kim Han-il, ballerina Kim Joo-won, and some 20 others gathered at Seoul's Myeongdong Cathedral on Monday afternoon to sing the song and film its music video. The stars are all devout Catholics and have reportedly come up with the project's idea themselves. The song is titled Koinonia, which in Greek means communion, fellowship, and unity. It's written by singer-songwriter Do Young-sim, also a faithful Catholic. Holding the megaphone is director Tone Tech, who also recently produced a music video to Psy's single Hangover. The song and music video will be released online at the 7th of next month in July and will also be played at major events during the Pope's visit, including the beatification ceremony to be held in Gwanghwamun Square. And that concludes our look at today's edition of your Daily News Sum Up.
Now, Team Korea may have lost to Algeria in a shocking 4-2 defeat earlier this week, but it's not over until it's over, right?
Yep, it's not over until the fat lady sings, that's for sure.
That's right. Korea now has a must-win situation against Belgium tomorrow at 5 a.m. Korea time. Where's our dun, dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun.
There you go.
Right there, right? That will be the deciding hour. And to break down the Belgian national football team and see how Korea must play against Belgium, we have S.J. Lee joining us in the studio this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, S.J.
Good morning, guys. We're all nervous.
We want to be this upbeat tomorrow this time,
Hopefully, right? Because it
Hopefully.
will be done by the time we
That's
are
right.
on air. And of course, like you said, it's a must-win situation. And it's going to be a huge match. And Korea needs to win big in order for them to advance. But, you know, even though Belgium isn't going to go full force into this next match because they've already qualified, this is still a very deadly team. So let's first take a look at some of the players that Korea needs to watch out for. So taking a look here, first off, over on the defense, you have Vincent Kompany, who plays center back, and he's probably one of the more physical defenders in the game, and Korea will have a problem fighting for position against him. Then, of course, you have probably the two best attackers in Group H in Eden Hazard and also Romelu Lukaku. Now, Eden Hazard is a creative midfielder who knows how to create goals, and Lukaku is just a powerful striker who fights his way into the box. So definitely some very dangerous players in this squad.
You did say they are a deadly team,
right?
And, but I'm sure they have their weaknesses as well. Please tell us about their weaknesses and, of course, their strengths.
Right, so it's going to be very important for them to utilize and take advantage of their weaknesses, right? And of course, but we'll soon find out that their weakness is not too bad. But first, we're going to take a look at their strengths and weaknesses. First, starting off with their strengths. So if you take a look at here now, Belgium is a very well-rounded team. They score well from the right side with Eden Hazard leading the way, and they score well with set pieces. Something, once again, Korea has a hard time defending against, and their defense is great since they didn't have a single match where they gave up more than a goal during the World Cup qualification matches. So definitely a strong team here. But taking a look at their weakness, though, they're terrible at defending the wings. In fact, out of the 32 nations, they give up the most goals to wingers, and at the same time, they tend to lose focus on the defense late in the match. Most of their goals they do give up tend to be at the final 15 minutes, and also they have a hard time scoring late in the match as well.
So the wings we need to look out for.
The wings.
Right, and so tell us what Korea needs to do to beat Belgium in this next match. Are we hoping for a miracle here?
Right, we do need a miracle, and it's going to be difficult to figure out what they need to do because we know that Belgium is going to rest two of their stars. We don't know who those two stars are, so that's going to actually change up those things. But either way, if you take a look at some of the weaknesses, the center backs have to play a good game here for Korea. Now, it doesn't seem like, you know, the wing backs are the problems, and especially with a player like Lukaku who likes to push through the box, you have to have a strong central defense. And also, I mentioned that Belgium is weak against defending from the wing, which means that Son Heung-min has to show that he is the go-to guy in this match because Lee Chung-young has been pretty much invisible throughout this World Cup. Now, it is a tough road, but Korea needs to play aggressively in this match.
Not as aggressive as Suarez, I hope.
Not that aggressively, but of course we're talking about the non-biting factor.
If all else fails, just bite him, right?
Well, you don't want to do that, right?
Hey, we know the odds are stacked up against us, but, you know, miracles do happen, and hopefully tomorrow that will happen.
Well, we have to root for Russia as well to win 1-0.
Exactly.
A lot of complications here.
So go Russia, go Korea.
That's right. That's right. Of course, we'll cover this shortly, right when the program starts tomorrow morning.
That's right. Exciting. All right. Thank you, SJ.
Always a pleasure. And of course, before I do say goodbye, let's take a look at the scores from the matches that took place earlier today.
So flags up in the sky, put them in the sky. And wave them side to side, side to side. Show the world where you're from, show them where you're from. Show the world we are one.
So the World Cup is definitely keeping a lot here in Korea up through the nights. But apart from street cheering, there are various events taking place here in the country to keep the spirit going. And our Joey Mercadante joins us here to introduce some of them to us.
Good morning, Joey.
Good morning, Joey.
Good morning. So I went to several World Cup events going on, and my voice is a lot better now. But
I'm surprised you can talk.
it was in rough shape for a bit, but I'm okay now. And like you said, we know about the hardcore street fans and how to enjoy the game on the streets. But there are other fun experiences and quite unique experiences to be had, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So we'll take a look at my adventure, and then we'll come back to the studio and I'll tell you how to enjoy this next upcoming game versus Belgium.
All right.
A sports festival that gets fans in a frenzy all over the world. The 2014 FIFA World Cup. The Red Devils come alive in Korea, and you can't help getting swept up in the fan spirit. Now, you've seen how fans cheer for Team Korea on the show, but I bring you first-hand experience.
Okay, now I'm ready. I can enjoy the festival to the fullest. I got my face paint done, and I'm ready to see what else is next. Come on, let's go.
Check this out. This is bubble soccer.
Oh,
It's a unique sports event. Yes, you get to put on this large bubble suit and play soccer against other teams.
You should have brought those bubbles with you.
In keeping with our slogan, get crazy, have fun, we hope the competition will help everyone enjoy the World Cup even more.
Now, even if you're not one of the participating bubble soccer teams, everyone has a chance to try one of these bubble suits on themselves. There was a one-on-one game where you try pushing your opponent out of the ring, and a photo zone for memorabilia.
What if you can't get up?
Well, you stay.
Like this, you mean?
You stay down there like that.
Wow, it's an adrenaline rush, and you get to take out your aggression.
So you won, right?
That was a lot of fun.
Well,
and it's really soft. You don't really get hurt.
He's lying down. What does that tell you?
Now back to the main event. The Bubble Soccer Tournament. Now, 128 teams competed from 6 regions around the country.
Wow.
And today, we got to watch the final rounds between the top 8 teams. Now, check out this hard-hitting action.
Wow, they're getting aggressive.
It's like hockey.
It's like hockey. That's exactly what I was saying.
But it must be injury-free because you're in the little bubble, right?
The cheering was intense, and so was the competition between the bubble players.
They're out of the bubbles when they celebrate.
10 million won.
Wow.
So about almost 10,000 US dollars.
Did you win any of that? No.
Fun. Lots of hard-hitting, smashing action. I had a lot of fun, and it got me really hyped for tonight's game. I can't wait, but I have still so long to go. What should I do in the meantime?
Korea's famous indoor amusement park in Seoul. It's Lotte World Adventure.
Yay.
Late into the night, after the nighttime operating hours were over, the halls outside Lotte World turned into a sea of red. The 12th player of the team, the Red Devils, were here. Now the concept here was pretty straightforward. Play all night, cheer all morning. The World Cup game was at 4 a.m. And you know how some people worry about how they can't stay up until then? No problems here.
Ride the
Just
rides.
hop on one of these rides, exactly.
It was an all-nighter then.
All-nighter, yes.
That would keep you awake.
That would keep you awake.
That's why you lost your voice. Exactly. You weren't cheering. You were screaming.
The merry-go-round, of course.
I haven't been on rides in so long. I feel like I could cheer harder now.
Now, the rides weren't all. K-pop stars dropped by to heat up things before the game. Sistar, K-Will, Mad Clown were just a few artists, and they were putting on amazing performances because this was all for a great cause, of course, to bring everyone's spirit up before the World Cup game at 4 a.m. And I think it worked, don't you?
We got about an hour left. You excited?
Yeah.
Are you tired at all?
I'm a little tired. We have some energy drink. Yeah, we're gonna be fine though. We're just thinking about 대한민국, you know?
So when the game starts, you think it'll be okay?
Yeah, it'll be great.
대한민국!
And finally, the time we were all waiting for was here. The Korea-Algeria match, and some 10,000 fans became one.
That must be after the first goal.
Yes.
Silence.
Now, it might have been much too early in the morning, but you know the Red Devils, we don't back down no matter what time it is. And every time we gave up a goal to Algeria, you could hear the moans ripple through the crowd, but all was forgiven when we scored our goal.
In the second half, 5 minutes into.
Korea's alive! We're still alive!
That's where Joey lost his voice.
Oh yeah, I was right there. Now the result wasn't what we hoped for, of course, but the Red Devils were still filled with pride, and so was
It's
I.
okay if we lose a game. Just do your very best and don't get hurt.
Do your best, Team Korea will be cheering.
An opportunity for everyone in a nation to become one. It's an experience unlike any other, so make sure to try it out for yourself during this Brazil World Cup. Time may be running out.
Time is running out. It's at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So you can definitely feel the excitement from just by watching the videos. Now, a lot of non-Koreans were there too. I'm surprised. And they were cheering on the Korean team as well.
Yeah, and I that was something that was really inspiring for me, I guess. It was nice to see, you know, other than myself. I wasn't the only foreigner there. There were quite a few there. And, you know, if there's one thing I've learned from doing sporting reports on Korea Discovered is that Korean people really know how to support and cheer for their team. So it's nice for foreigners like myself and the ones on the VCR to really get a chance to see and experience what it feels like to truly support your team and cheer like no other country I've ever seen before.
I know a foreigner has become a Korean when he can say fighting. You know, it's such a Korean word, but you can say it with full confidence like that.
All right, it's like go Korea. Now, the game, as you mentioned, the match is going to be at 5 a.m. Are there any events that are going on for this match?
Yes. Okay, so the first one is at Esports Stadium, the Nexon Arena. Now, the whole stadium is going to be transformed into this huge indoor cheering venue.
Wow.
Football experts talking about the World Cup strategies, esport gamers playing World Cup games, and of course, K-pop idols will be there performing. You can get your tickets at the Nexon website or sign up for tickets at the Adidas stores.
Adidas.
All right, that's going to be the event to go to.
The next one is the One Mount Multicultural Shopping Mall, and this is in Ilsan.
Wow. In your neck of the woods.
Live game broadcast. You can have access to the water park and the snow park. There's an outdoor movie theater starting at 11 p.m. tonight, and that will run from until the game. And the really special thing about that is that you get 60% discount on some of the shops in the mall.
Wow. After cheering?
60%.
Wow.
Well, before.
Before?
You have to shop first. You got to shop before.
Okay, that's true. And I heard that there are other pretty wild cheering venues in other provinces. Could you recommend any locations?
Yeah, the first one I would recommend is Tiger Beach. Which is off of the islands off of Binchang. And they're having an all-night chimek party, so chicken and beer, unlimited free beer, an all-night party, like I said, till 5 a.m. And you can get your tickets at the community blog. There's a link on the screen. You see people having a great time there.
Wow.
Now, another unique, very unique promotion is the Korail Into Tomorrow promotion. Now, this is only for people 25 years and younger. I repeat, and younger.
That's offensive.
Yeah. So this train ticket takes you to a huge cheering event at Bosong Cholanamdo. Now, you take the Mugunghwa train to from Suncheon Station or Gwangju Songjong Station, and that'll take you to Tukdang Station, and that's tonight, leaving tonight, and it'll take you there, and you get to experience the cheering experience there. It includes free dinner, free snacks, and free lodging for the next day. You're going to need to sleep in the morning in the surrounding area, and tickets are limited. It's only the first 200 people to sign up. And time is really running out.
You have to be young.
And you gotta, yeah, I mean, we can't check it out. Maybe.
You know what? The organizers of this event obviously do not know how fun old people can be. You know?
Right?
I mean, we're not even old.
Maybe
mid-age.
Maybe Jennifer can check it out. I think she's of
Jennifer
age.
is the only one who can check it out. Thank you so much.
You're very
Joey.
welcome. My pleasure.
All right, thank you very much for that. But you know, the best spot is going to be right here in our 6th floor office.
That's right.
The heat wave's here, but the workforce still has a dress code to abide by. There are ways your wardrobe can be more summer-friendly while still being suitable for the office. Try the Cool Biz look. The Cool Biz style keeps within the business casual code, but without the tie, and replaces heavier materials with cool, breathable fabric like linen and seersucker. And here's another way to be in fashion for the season. Go blue! Finally, some fashionable alternatives that keeps you cool but not completely casual. We introduce you to the Cool Biz style.
I'm trying to do those poses, but it's just not working out right now, right? Well, I'm just wearing a regular business suit that normal people wear, right? But there are other types and more options for you these days. And our Jennifer Kim joins us for more on the Cool Biz look. Good morning.
Thank you, good morning. And today I'm going to be talking about the Cool Biz look, which basically is a mix between cool and business. So it's kind of like a mix between business casual and business. So it's like either casual or formal style. So it just suits everybody. So today I've got a model here today to actually demonstrate this look for us. But this look is basically all, before that he comes on, it's basically all about getting rid of the tie.
Okay, so getting rid of the tie. There's our model. Let's have it move in.
So getting rid of the tie and going for lighter fabrics, such as the blue linen jacket that our model here is wearing. So I've just sort of paired it together with a t-shirt, but the great thing about these kind of Cool Biz style blue linen jackets or colorful jackets is that you can pair it with some button-down shirts as well, so it can be both casual and formal, and it's so light you don't even realize that you've got anything draped on. Well, you probably will a little.
Jennifer,
but
you mentioned the linen over here. I think the material is very important because that's what really makes or breaks the cool, I guess, circulating the heat out of on a hot day.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. It makes a big difference to your body temperature. And also you can see I've paired it with some shorts, so it's not particularly formal, but it's not particularly casual either. It's kind of just a really smart sort of look. And the great thing about these kind of colorful jackets is that you can pair it with white, you can pair it with any colors actually, and so I think it's a great summer staple for all men in their wardrobe.
Okay, well, it sounds great. It looks like he's obviously pulling it off, right? But this is kind of a style that involves color coordination, as well as you mentioned. It requires a bit of fashion sense.
Yes, that's right. Well, right now the current color in the season is blue. Last season it was kind of like an aqua color, but now it's blue, which I think is great because most guys suit it and most guys have blue in their wardrobe, and it's great to coordinate with. And also the fabric, as he was saying, as Young was saying before, linen is really light, so it allows for the air to come through, and it also allows for any humidity to sort of just evaporate. So as you probably will know, men have higher body temperatures, and if you're at functions or events, the last thing that you want to think about is your sweat patches or anything. So linen is really great because it doesn't actually pick up those sweat patches.
All right, that's right.
So,
and it's just amazing how a pair of shorts and a nice pair of socks that go with it. We'll be talking about the socks as well as the accessories that come with Cool Biz in just a moment, right?
Yep, and we've got our wonderful SJ who's about to come up as well.
You know, SJ is actually, you know, he's actually pulling this off. So, you know, no, you got to do the pose. Do the pose. There you go. Do the turn, the little twirl. There, that's the catwalk pull, right? SJ is good, actually.
Minus the height.
Can you just tuck that just a little tad bit? Just okay, there you go. Perfect.
I love the expression on his face as well. It just shows that cool now.
No, I really think he's pulling it off. He looks good.
Okay, so what I've done is
pants are quite nice.
I've given him some pastel colors because he's got this healthy tan going on. These bright colors really refresh his face, and it's really great together with the white pants as well. It just gives this kind of chic, clean look. So I think that it looks quite good. It makes you look younger.
I like it. I like it. You know,
refreshing. Not that you look old.
I'm surprised because you know, it's long sleeve, right? It's a long jacket. I thought it was going to be very hot, but because of, like you said, the linen, right? It's actually very cool and it's very light right now. You could barely kind of feel this. It's nice, right?
It feels so cool.
Only if the model was nice.
It's good because it doesn't stick.
No, the model looks great.
It doesn't stick to your skin, so
right,
it's really
it doesn't.
good.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, that's one way to stay cool, right? Do you have something for me? Obviously, I'm not of SJ's build. I'm just a little bit shorter and just a little bit stockier, right? So if you have something for me, let me try one of these on and see how I can pull it off.
Well,
or not.
for Young, I noticed that Young really suits pastel colors. So I chose this pastel blue, so the color of the season right now. It's made of the same material as the one that SJ is wearing at the moment.
I like that.
Okay, just taking that jacket off, it really cools down a lot right here in the studio.
These jackets are really hot. So when you go outside, you want to just loosen your tie a little bit and put on one of these linen jackets. It looks like it would be hot, but it's actually really, really airy, especially if you wear like
and lose
a
the
shirt
tie,
underneath.
please.
If you like had a shirt.
You know what? I look like an air conditioning salesman right now. I'm obviously not pulling it off as well as
Sorry.
Just get the tie off.
Maybe it's not for everyone.
How does that in right now? So yeah, I think this looks really good. And if you've got...
I think you're lying.
No, I think it looks great. And if you're maybe of a shorter build, then I recommend going for really tight jackets because of the curve on the side of the jacket will actually make you look taller.
Right.
So, you know, we talked about jackets, right? I'm very, very big on pants, and I think all of our members know my colorful pants and stuff like that. What about pants? What kind of pants do you wear in like a Cool Biz look?
Okay, well, the Cool Biz look right now is all about chino pants. So as you can see behind you here, there's some short chino pants here, and then there's some long
There's some videos going out right now
well.
of the examples of pants that really look good on the Cool Biz look.
So chino pants come up to the ankles, or you can wear ones that are longer but fold them up a little bit. That's really in fashion at the moment. And they're really comfortable and stylish. You can wear it together with formal or casual attire. And as SJ is wearing as well, he's wearing these kinds of casual sneakers together with it. These are the chino pants at the moment in the studio.
And this is totally SJ style.
I like it. Yeah, I love it.
Maybe some tighter fitting ones for SJ style. Yeah.
Okay, the model was wearing shorts, right? Let's talk a little bit about shorts because those are good options.
Shorts. Okay, well, shorts, they won't be for every occasion, but the way that you want to pull these off is to customize it to your own legs. So if you've got short legs, I recommend to go for shorts that come above the knee.
Okay, above the knees for me.
It makes you look like you're long. You keep saying that. And if you've got long legs already, why don't you go for ones that are below the knee and slightly just fold them up to above the knee, and it'll give you extra volume.
That's for you, SJ.
Now, if you're
well, I'm not that tall.
If you're already voluminous, then simply go for shorts that are tapered at the knee, and that'll make you it'll give the illusion of a slimmer silhouette, a slender silhouette.
You know, I've noticed a lot of people do wear this because, you know, I went shopping lately and I did buy a lot of these shorts, and it seems to be the big trend right now.
Yeah,
a lot of people are wearing it.
Especially the straight legs at the moment.
Right.
So kind of tight fitting, but not tight as well because it gives the air
All right, I'm a
down
conservative Joe, so I usually wear either white sweat socks or I wear just regular
Socks.
black socks, right? Now, if you're going to wear these chino shorts, then you're going to have some fashionable accessories as well.
Well, socks doesn't seem like much, but they can actually make or break your entire outfit. So you can go for socks that are booties or ankles, so the ones that sort of just disappear into your shoes.
You're wearing those.
I actually wear these. These are mine, by the way.
Okay, so SJ's got some invisible socks on here. So you can go for those, or the Cool Biz look at the moment is to give that little point. So like a bright colored sock to bring your whole outfit together, like a fluoro sock here and there, or if you're really daring, you can go for a fuchsia or a bright pink or a bright blue. And stripy socks as well, they can be a little bit of a fashion statement.
Man, they're a little bit too much, I think. You know, we just saw like some of these samples of the socks. To be honest with you, I can't pull it off.
Well, you know what? That's your next step, SJ. I think you're going to have to go ahead and get those socks and try those on. We'll see how those fare. Now, Jennifer, thank you so much for these great tips, but I don't think I'll be taking any of them.
We have to talk about the accessories.
We would like to, but we are out of time, so we're going to have to go ahead and talk about those another time.
Sure.
You know, what do you guys think about this whole look?
I didn't know your self-esteem. You had some self-esteem issues there. We love you to pieces no matter what. Yeah.
I never knew my legs were short until...
You guys look great.
Don't talk about short.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
All right, that's just about it for this edition of Korea Today.
We'll be back at 7 a.m. right after the Korea-Belgium match. So see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.